I'm ready to get a drum machine.
Freebie.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day, so if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Today's patron shoutout goes to Make Mistakes. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. So, you know what kind of hit me the other day as I was playing around with my MPC-1 setup? I don't really own a standalone hardware drum machine other than the Korg Volca Drum here. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the Korg Volca Drum, but it's got its limitations. It's very, very digital sounding, and I don't know, it's just got this kind of vibe to it that no matter how many parameters you change, you can't really escape. Just a little taste of what it can sound like, but you really don't get too far away from those types of digital sounds with the Volca Drum, which can be a very, very good thing if that's what you're after. Sampling the Volca Drum is a blast, and I've made some pretty cool kits from its sounds, but that does involve, putting those sounds into like Ableton or the MPC or the OP1 or the Polyanda Trackers, how I've been using it lately. And that's awesome and all, but I've never owned, much less even used, a traditional or more traditional drum machine. I do own quite a few groove boxes that can do drums, the MPC1, the OP1, the Deluge, Model Cycles, Sample Track, XFM, all the pocket operators. However, I don't have just a flat-out standalone drum machine. So I think it's finally time that I get one. So today I am asking for your help, guidance, and advice in choosing a drum machine. I think I would like to go for more of an analog drum machine, more of a traditional analog machine, or something that can generate those sounds if I do go digital. So I've actually got 4 drum machines on my list right now that I'd like to go over with you all. First up is the Uno drum synth. I don't know too much about this one other than the fact that it's been recommended to me several times, and I do believe it is a proper analog drum synthesizer, drum machine, which is really cool. So yeah, admittedly, I don't know too much about that one, but if you have any advice for me regarding it, please let me know in a comment below. The next one on my list is the Arturia Drum Brute Impact. Now, I know the Drum Brute Impact has been the target of a lot of hate online. I'm not really sure if I understand why, because from everything I've listened to, it sounds pretty darn fantastic. I really understand the layout with your different sounds and then the sequencer and the parameters and how easy it is to do things like roll and see which of your 4 measures you're on. And of course, in the past, I've worked with Arturia. They've sent me stuff to take a look at for them. And I've just really enjoyed all the Arturia products I've used, even the ones that I've purchased personally, and I like their software as well. So yes, the Arturia Drum Brute Impact is pretty high on my list in my, I'd say, top 3. I'd probably say the Uno Synth is sitting in last place right now, 4 out of 4 for me, but that's just of these 4 that I'm going to tell you about today. Now, the last 2 are a tie, I think, in terms of how much I want to try them, and they're actually both digital drum machines. The first one is the 1010 Nanobox Razzmatazz, which is a really cool looking tiny little box. It's part of the Nano Box series, like the Lemon Drop and the Fireball. But I believe it's a synthesizer, a drum synth that also can play samples, which is super cool. And then you can kind of layer those together how you see fit. I've really been looking at the Razzmatazz in terms of playing it live with my electronic drum set. Or at least my SPD SX, playing it with drumsticks and pads, because there are a ton of parameters that you can actually map velocity to. So I think I can get some real playability out of the Razzmatazz. It's also priced still within the Freebeat budget category of less than $400. It's super tiny and it's powered with USB Type-C, so I can easily just use a little power bank to keep it running. It's got sample loading via SD card, which I really like. I believe it uses a micro SD. Now, the things I'm not necessarily looking forward to on the Razzmatazz are using it standalone. It looks kind of awkward to navigate the little touch screen. I haven't used it yet, so obviously I can't exactly speak on that, but just from the videos I've watched, it does look sort of annoying to work with that little screen and just the few knobs and buttons you have there to work with. Not a lot in terms of onboard control. Seems like it would be something more suited to dialing in the presets that you want and then playing it with an external controller, which again is the main reason I'm looking at it. And to be completely honest, I thought the Razzmatazz was going to be at the top of my list. And like I said, the final drum machine on my list today is technically tied in my mind with the Razzmatazz. But the more I think about it, just in the, 7 or 8 minutes or so I've been filming this video, I think just describing these features out loud, I think the Roland TR6S might have slid into my number 1 position, and that's for a couple of reasons. One, a ton of onboard control, just a ridiculous amount of onboard control for the size and the fact that you can power it with batteries. Super cool. It's got those faders on it. I believe those control the levels of each individual track, as well as, I'm sure, some other things, knowing Roland. It also can play samples, and it has drum synthesis in it, so I can still get that analog sound via samples or via, synthesis. And it also has the ability to export any patterns I come up with as individual tracks. So there's 6 different parts, I believe, and each of those can be exported to the computer as an individual track, meaning the patterns that I come up with on the TR6S, I could work with those on the computer in Ableton, and I could actually use them in my finished product. And the fact that it's battery powered means I can work on those patterns anywhere, which not only gets me excited about being able to sit on the couch and come up with drum patterns to use in the studio later, but it also means it's more suited for filming off-site for me, which I do have to kind of look at gear as a content creator too, not just someone who enjoys making electronic music. It is also priced right at $399, right under that $400 budget threshold that I try to keep most of my gear under here at Freebeat. By the way, the Drum Brute Impact, I believe, is $299, as is the Uno drum synth. Those are both $299 US, I think. But yeah, the TR6S seems to be at the top of my list, so please let me know if you have any of the 4 of these drum machines personally and what your thoughts are. I would also love to know if I'm missing any other drum machines. Preferably, I'd like the price of those drum machines to be less than $400 US. $399 is just fine. But like I said, I do like to keep my gear under that $400 price point. I know there's a ton of drum machines under that price point that I didn't talk about. But frankly, these 4 are the most interesting to me. Maybe not the Uno drum synth as much, but I feel like it has the potential to be. So please let me know in a comment below your thoughts on these 4 different drum machines I listed, as well as any other recommendations you may have for me. I'm excited to try a proper drum machine that isn't the Volca Drum. Again, nothing against the Volca Drum, I really do enjoy it, but I'm just looking for a little bit of a change. I do hope you found this video entertaining. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.